So when you started Augusta, who were you with? Like, how did you? I know you were talking about how you mowed lawns when you were younger, and but like when you started the business, like who were you? Who was your like team?
What do you mean my team? Like it was just me at the time when I first got started. You mean like my mentors,
Okay.
stuff like that?
Well, no, no, no. I was just more so I'm really hesitant on starting because I just am terrified of being alone, I guess.
Hmm.
Um, and my really question is like, how would you find your team members, like people that you rely on now?
Hmm.
Like where did you find them or like any advice on that?
Yeah, like when you first get started, you don't need a team. I understand the sense of loneliness in having to do it all by yourself. But honestly, like if you just scale back a company, even the size of Augusta, all the way back to a very small, I'd just have to wear more hats and do more things. But it's such the business is so small you can do it all yourself, right? And so you might not be the best at all of those things, but I understand the loneliness side. I understand going, especially if you've been an employee and you have 10, 15, 20 coworkers and you have more of a community and you're used to doing like one task all day long. I understand that sense of loneliness or being alone, but you do not need a team when you're first getting started. That is usually a recipe for spending way too much money up front to try to create some sort of a culture or like multiple team members when the business can't sustain that financially. So don't feel like you need someone or need a team up front. It's not going to be possible. I didn't have an employee for the first year and a half. I didn't have an office manager for the first 3 or 4 years. And I was in the field for the first 4 or 5 years. So don't feel like you need that from day one, especially if you don't have the capital to burn through while you prematurely hire a team and get a whole bunch of infrastructure built out. Or what business are you starting?
Uh, that's a complicated uh question because I haven't decided yet.
Got it.
But something more like something to complement the Be Real discussing mental health.
Hmm.
It's nothing near perfect or refined, but
Yeah.
it's
Yeah,
just
so
something
I
that
think a lot of
I've been
times when
trying to work.
people are unclear on what they're going to do in business, they think that, okay, I'll work it backwards. And that is, I'll build the team, and then whatever we're going to do is going to come, and like the team will kind of determine. That works really well in venture capital and tech world, right? Where they're like, just get a great founding team together and like it, bet on the jockey, not so much the horse. When it comes to small business
Right.
and bootstrapping and home improvement and small amounts of capital, you just need to get started. You just need to start, and it might take you 2 years to try 10 different things, and you'll come upon something. Now, if it's mental health that you're trying to work on, that is the number one thing you can do right now is start creating content around what you believe in when it comes to mental health and creating awareness around it, because
Right.
the media, you'll attract an audience, and the audience will determine what they're willing to pay for if you want to create a business out of it, or they'll tell you what they're interested in if you want to create more awareness around something. So you just need to get started. Do not worry about the team. The team thing only works in a world where there's venture capital and there's money to throw into this. Like, let's create this great team and have like 8 different an org chart and like all the different positions and titles and all the rest of it, and then we'll figure out what we want to do. Like that's like old news. That is what has been portrayed on the movies and Entrepreneur Magazine, and Fast Company. It's just a bunch of garbage when it comes to actually building a real business.
So you're kind of saying that like appeal to people and the people you find through your media campaigns will kind of decide the product.
Exactly. Start just creating content around mental health, and maybe as a product, like whether it be online courses or consulting or whatever you feel like you're inclined to do in terms of monetization. But don't feel like you need to figure it all, or you need to hire a team and get people together before figuring out what you want to do. Because I promise you, regardless of whether you have a team or you're by yourself, it's going to change 10 times. And so just focus on doing, and whether that be creating the products or whether that be creating the content and creating a community, the products will come later on. Don't worry about that stuff. Just get started, whether it be on the content side or the product side, and then start iterating. The only thing you need to focus on right now when you're small in your business is iterations. How many times can you do something and mess up on it so that we can figure out what works and what doesn't? Don't be paralyzed by the fact that you're by yourself or you're alone or there's not other people in the team. Just get started.